Have you noticed how prices on just about everything at Walmart keep quietly creeping up month after month? Well, right now, there are 12 items dropping to prices you'll probably never see again, and 4 other items that look like a bargain on the shelf but are actually money traps you need to avoid today. You'd be awesome if you subscribed and liked this video. One TCL 50-inch 4K UHD Roku Smart TV. Is your living room still stuck with an old sluggish TV that takes forever to load apps? This is the moment to upgrade. This TCL 50-inch 4K set was $349, now marked down to $229, which means you're saving $120 in one purchase. With a 50-inch TV that has true 4K resolution and Roku built right in, this kind of price usually only shows up around Black Friday, not in the middle of a regular shopping season. That means if you wait a few more weeks, there's a good chance it climbs right back to the $300 range. This Roku TV line has always been well regarded for picture quality in the budget category. Plus, you get a huge app library with thousands of streaming channels built in, so you skip buying a separate Fire Stick or Roku stick that would run you another $30 or $40. The screen supports HDR for brighter, clearer images during daytime viewing, which makes it a great fit for a living room with lots of windows. The 60 Hz refresh rate is smooth enough for movies and TV shows, though it's not built for serious gamers who need ultra-low input lag. A lot of families were paying close to $500 for a comparable 50-inch TV just a few years back, so $229 right now is close to half that. For bigger households, college students in a dorm wanting a big screen for weekend movie nights, or anyone looking for a second TV for the bedroom so they don't have to fight over the main set during Sunday night football, this is the first item on the list you'll want to grab before it sells out. 2. Ninja Air Fryer 4-quart. Here's something people don't always notice. Air fryer prices rarely drop much because demand stays high year-round. But right now, the Ninja Air Fryer in the 4-quart size is down from $99 to $69, saving you a full $30. This is one of Ninja's best-selling models, big enough to cook for 2 or 3 people without hogging counter space, just a bit larger than a mid-size rice cooker, standing about 11 inches tall so it still fits under your upper cabinets. If you've watched Ninja Air Fryer prices hover around the $90 mark for months, you'll understand why $69 is worth jumping on right now. A batch of chicken wings takes about 15 minutes in this thing. No preheating needed like an oven, which usually adds another 5 to 10 minutes each time, and it uses noticeably less electricity than running a full-size oven at full power for an hour. Typically around 1,700 watts compared to 3,000 watts for a large oven. The basket has a non-stick coating that's easy to clean, just a quick 1 or 2 minute rinse in the sink instead of soaking a greasy baking sheet overnight. For someone living alone or a couple just starting out, this capacity is plenty for frying chicken or potatoes or reheating leftovers without firing up an energy-hungry oven. You don't need to wait for a holiday sale to grab this one, because the current price already matches the deepest discounts people have hunted down in the past. 3. Bissell Clean View Swivel Pet Upright Vacuum. Having pets in the house means pet hair everywhere, on the carpet and on the couch, especially during shedding season when dogs and cats lose twice as much fur as usual. The Bissell Clean View Swivel Pet was built exactly for this problem, with a swivel head that maneuvers into corners and under furniture that regular vacuums usually can't reach. It was $139, now down to $98, saving you $41 right away. This isn't some weak, cheap vacuum. It's a dedicated pet hair model with its own filtration system that helps cut down on dust blowing back into the air, and a cord about 25 feet long that's enough to cover the whole living room and hallway without constantly unplugging and replugging. The dust cup holds around 1.5 liters, meaning you're not emptying it constantly like you would with smaller budget vacuums. Compare that to buying separate filter bags or paying for professional carpet cleaning that can run over $100 a year for a 2-bedroom apartment, and spending close to $100 once on a vacuum that lasts years is an easy call. Plenty of pet owners have said that after switching to a dedicated pet model, they realized their old vacuum was barely pulling hair out of deep carpet fibers, even after going over the same spot several times. If you've got dogs or cats, or just thick carpet that needs frequent vacuuming, grab this price before it climbs back into 3-digit territory. 4. Keurig K-Mini Single-Serve Coffee Maker. Ever stood in line at Starbucks and done the math on how much you're spending on coffee every month? A coffee shop drink averages $5 or $6, and if you're buying one every day for a month, that easily tops $150. The Keurig K-Mini is the answer for those rushed mornings. Down from $79 to $49, saving $30. This is the smallest single-serve model in the Keurig lineup, only about 5 inches wide, taking up less counter space than a mini microwave. For someone living in a studio apartment, a college student in a cramped dorm room, or an office worker who wants their own coffee corner on the desk, this size is nearly perfect. Just fill the 12-ounce water reservoir, drop in a K-cup, and you've got a hot cup of coffee in under 2 minutes, working out to about 50 cents per cup in K-cup cost. If you're brewing 30 cups a month at home instead of buying out, you save close to $150 compared to coffee shop prices, enough to pay the machine back in the first month alone. The cord wraps neatly into the base, so it doesn't dangle across your counter like a lot of bulkier coffee makers do. $49 rarely shows up outside of holiday season, so if you've been thinking about switching from instant coffee to a real brewer, this is the best time of year to make that move. But hold on, the next 3 items on this list are going to make you rethink your daily shopping habits, especially the one tied to your morning self-care routine. 5. Anker Soundcore Life P2i Wireless Earbuds. A lot of people assume cheap wireless earbuds mean bad sound and weak battery life, but the Anker Soundcore Life P2i is proving that assumption wrong. It was $45, now down to $24, saving $21, close to half the original price. This model is well regarded for battery life, running about 7 hours straight on a single charge, plus the charging case adds up to roughly 24 hours total before you need to plug in again. The earbuds also carry basic water resistance rated IPX7, holding up against sweat during a gym session or outdoor run. Even a light rain shower won't cause damage. Plenty of people have bought no-name earbuds for $15 at a corner store and tossed them within weeks because the battery died fast, while this model has held up its battery performance well over months of steady use according to reviewers. For someone doing morning workouts and commuting on public transit and needing podcasts on the way, or a student taking classes online who needs lightweight earbuds, $24 is a price you're not likely to find elsewhere for this kind of quality. You don't have to spend $150 or $200 on a big-name brand when a mid-range option like this one handles everyday music and calls just fine. This is one item where even someone picky about sound quality will have a hard time complaining at this price. 6. Mainstays 6-piece bath towel set. Here's something everyone needs, but almost nobody wants to spend money upgrading: bath towels. Mainstay's 6-piece set is down from $20 to $12, saving $8 on the whole set, which includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. The cotton material is soft, absorbs well, and dries faster than the blended synthetic fabric you find in a lot of cheaper sets, and this price works out to less than $2 per piece. Compare that to buying individual cotton bath towels of the same size, which usually run $5 or $6 each at home goods stores, and this $12 6-piece set comes out 7 or 8 times cheaper per item. Someone who just moved, a student living on their own for the first time, or a family wanting to replace towels that have faded after years of washing can take advantage of this sale to stock up for the whole house without overthinking it. Don't underestimate a budget price towel set. The cotton here still holds up for years if you wash it properly and avoid overusing fabric softener, which can reduce absorbency over time. At $12 for 6 pieces, this is one of the most overlooked but genuinely practical deals on this whole list. 7. Great Value Organic Ground Coffee 24 ounces. Organic coffee usually costs a good bit more than regular coffee, but this time, Great Value is breaking that pattern. It's down from $9 to $6.50, saving $2.50 on a 24-ounce bag, which comes in a lot cheaper than other organic brands on the same shelf that usually run $10 to $12 for the same weight. If you drink coffee every morning and care about beans grown without chemical pesticides, this is a reasonable way to try it without paying the usual premium. For a household brewing coffee at home instead of buying out, a 24-ounce bag can make around 40 cups, working out to less than 17 cents a cup, far cheaper than stopping at Starbucks every day for $5 or $6 a pop. If a two-person household drinks 2 cups each morning, one bag lasts about 3 weeks, meaning your whole month of coffee costs less than $10, while buying the same amount out could easily run over $200. Organic coffee rarely drops this low since production costs are already higher than regular coffee, so $6.50 is genuinely worth stocking up on a few bags at once since ground coffee keeps for months if sealed tightly and stored somewhere dry, away from direct sunlight that can strip the flavor. 8. Colgate Optic White Renewal Toothpaste. $9 for 3 tubes of whitening toothpaste sounds ordinary until you compare it to buying single tubes, which usually run about $6 each. It was $15, now $9, meaning you save $6, basically buying 2 and getting almost a third one for free. Colgate's Optic White Renewal line is known for gradual whitening with continued use, a good option for anyone wanting to improve their smile without paying several $100s for a professional whitening treatment at the dentist. Since this is a product used up slowly over weeks, one tube typically lasts 6 to 8 weeks for one person, so buying the 3-pack while it's on sale is a smarter move than buying single tubes each time you run out and paying the higher price. 3 tubes should last one person around 4 to 5 months, meaning you won't need to think about buying toothpaste again until close to the end of the year. Anyone who cares about their appearance, has an important event coming up, or just wants to keep up a better oral care routine should stock up while the price is this low, since toothpaste keeps for a long time before expiring, usually over 2 years if stored somewhere dry. Think this list is only home goods and beauty products? The next section has one item for the whole family on a weekend, and one that anyone who's ever gone camping needs to keep an eye on right away. 9. Ozark Trail 4-Person Dome Tent. Summer is when a lot of families start planning camping trips, but a good tent is never cheap. Plenty of 4-person tents from specialty brands run $100 or more. The Ozark Trail 4-Person tent is down from $50 to $35, saving $15, a hard-to-believe price for a tent with enough room for a small family to sleep for the night. The dome design makes setup fast, about 10 minutes with 2 people working together, and it holds up against wind better than the traditional rectangular tent style. Plus, it has mesh windows for airflow on warm summer nights. The floor space runs about 7 feet by 7 feet, enough to lay out 2 full-size air mattresses with room left over for gear. The floor material has a waterproof coating, so when you're camping on damp ground after rain the night before, water doesn't seep up through the floor, unlike a lot of cheaper tents that end up with a soaked floor after one night. For families with young kids just starting to camp, or a group of friends planning a weekend getaway without wanting to invest heavily in gear, this is an affordable option that still covers the basics you need. Compared to specialty tent brands charging 3 or 4 times as much, Ozark Trail still delivers basic waterproofing and durability for several seasons of use if you take care of it, folding it up and storing it in the included bag after every trip. $35 usually only shows up at the end of summer when stores need to clear inventory, so don't wait until next year to buy this one. 10. Monopoly Classic Board Game. Some things seem outdated but never actually go out of style, and Monopoly is a perfect example. It was $22, now down to $14, saving $8 for the classic version that 3 generations under one roof already know how to play, from grandparents down to kids just learning about handling money. No batteries, no screens, just an hour or 2 of free time in the evening for the whole family to gather around the table and fight over buying property and building houses. The box includes the full folding board, metal game pieces, cards, and Monopoly money. Nothing missing compared to some stripped-down budget versions on the market that only include thin paper money that tears easily. For families with kids at the age where they're learning basic money management, or anyone who just wants a screen-free activity on the weekend instead of everyone staring at their own phone, this is a small investment with long-term payoff, since this game set basically never wears out if you take care of it and keep it in the box. $14 for a game you can play over and over for decades is a hard price to argue with, especially when a lot of modern board games run $30 to $40 and hold up far worse, made from thin cardboard that warps at the corners after just a few times being put away in a closet. 11. Tide Pods 81 count. If you've ever stood in front of the laundry detergent aisle doing math on which one is cheaper per load, this number is worth paying attention to. It was $25, now down to $17, saving $8 on the 81 count box, which works out to less than 21 cents per load, a lot cheaper than buying small bottles of liquid detergent, which typically run about 35 cents per load. For a big household doing laundry daily, this 81 count box lasts around 2 months if you're washing 1 or 2 loads a day. And for anyone who doesn't want to keep running to the store every few weeks to restock detergent, buying in bulk while it's on sale is the clearest way to save. Tide Pods are also more convenient than liquid detergent since there's no measuring and no risk of spilling and getting it on your hands or the floor. Just drop 1 pod in the machine and you're done. A lot of households using cheaper liquid detergent end up buying more almost every 2 weeks because they pour more than they actually need, while pre-measured pods help control costs a lot better. Students sharing a crowded dorm or families with young kids who get their clothes dirty every day will find this 81 count box lasts several months without needing a refill. This price rarely drops this low since Tide isn't a brand that usually offers deep discounts, so grab it before the sale ends. 12. Revlon One-Step Volumizer Plus 2.0 Hair Dryer. A lot of people are surprised to see this hair styling tool, the one that went viral on social media, marked down this much. It's down from $69 to $39, saving $30, close to half the original price, for a product well regarded for drying and volumizing hair in one step. The motor runs at about 1,000 watts, strong enough to dry shoulder-length hair in about 10 minutes, compared to using a regular hairdryer with a separate round brush, which takes almost twice as long each morning. The soft bristle round brush head gives hair natural volume without pulling too hard or causing frizz at the roots the way some cheap metal styling brushes do. Instead of using a hairdryer and a separate round brush, which eats up time every morning, this 2-in-1 design shortens the whole styling routine significantly, especially useful for someone with a tight work schedule. Plenty of users say that after switching to this tool, they've shaved off close to 10 minutes each morning compared to their old separate drying and curling routine. Busy women needing a quick style before work, or anyone who wants salon-quality volume without paying $30 or $40 every visit to a salon will find clear value here. $39 matches the deepest discounts you'd normally only see during major holiday sales. So if you've been eyeing this one but held off because of the price, now's the time to grab it. That's 12 deals worth buying, but don't look away yet. The next 4 items look like a bargain on the shelf, but are money traps a lot of people regret only after buying. On 7-inch tablet. $60 for a tablet sounds appealing, but this is a case where cheap doesn't mean a good deal. Plenty of users report the tablet running slow right from the first few weeks, apps taking several seconds to open, and switching between apps causing freezes that get annoying while watching video. The screen has low resolution, which makes text look blurry during extended reading, especially noticeable if you need reading glasses. Battery life is another issue, usually dropping fast after only 3 or 4 hours of continuous use, meaning you'll be charging it nearly every day instead of every few days, like other mid-range tablets allow. Storage on the device tends to be pretty limited, just a few dozen gigabytes, so installing a handful of apps and saving a few videos fills it up fast, forcing you to keep deleting things. If your goal is to buy this for a kid to watch videos or play simple games in the car, it might be acceptable, but if you need a device for reading, browsing, or light work, this $60 is basically money down the drain. You're better off spending another $40 to get a mid-range tablet with more stable performance rather than replacing it after just a few months because the old ones become too sluggish to use. Mainstays 3-tier bookshelf. A $25 bookshelf sounds like a reasonably priced piece of furniture, but the material is where the problem lies. This shelf is made from thin particle board, a material well known for warping under heavy loads over time, especially in humid areas like a basement or near a window. Plenty of people report the middle shelf starting to sag within a few months, especially if you load it with heavy books like dictionaries or hardcovers, since each shelf usually only holds a fairly limited weight compared to real wood shelving. The legs are also somewhat flimsy. Some users report a leg cracking during initial assembly if you tighten the screws even slightly too hard, something that almost never happens with thicker engineered wood shelving. The assembly process can also chip the edges of the board if you're not careful with the screws, and once chipped, it's basically impossible to fix like solid wood. If you need a spot for a few light items like picture frames or a small plant, it's fine. But if you're actually planning to store books, this isn't a durable choice. Spending another $15 or $20 to get a sturdier engineered wood shelf saves you money in the long run, since you won't have to buy a replacement after just a year of use. Farberware 15-piece kitchen utensil set. A 15-piece kitchen utensil set for $18 sounds like a great deal for someone just moving out on their own, but the material quality doesn't match the price. Plenty of reports show the plastic pieces in the set warping or slightly melting when they touch hot pans at high temperatures, especially the spatulas and ladles that frequently touch the side of a pan while cooking. Some of the joints between the handle and the head also loosen after several months of regular use, causing a wobbly feeling when stirring a large pot. Even the handle itself, which looks sturdy enough when you first buy it, tends to develop small cracks at the joint after about 6 months of daily use, according to a lot of buyers. For someone cooking every day, having utensils wear out quickly means buying replacements individually at $5 or $6 each, and the total cost ends up higher than just investing up front in a set made from heat-resistant silicone that runs about $35. If you're only using it to decorate the kitchen or cook occasionally on weekends, this set might be fine, but for someone cooking daily, this looks cheap up front but ends up costing more down the road. Fresh strawberries and blueberries. Fresh fruit in packaged containers at Walmart is often priced attractively, but quality is something you need to think through carefully before tossing it in your cart. Plenty of shoppers report that just 2 to 3 days after buying, strawberries start getting moldy at the bottom of the container, or blueberries turn mushy even though the printed date hasn't passed yet, and some people have even found spoiled berries right when opening the container at home. This usually comes down to how storage and stock rotation get handled at big retailers, which isn't as tightly controlled as at dedicated produce stores, where inventory turns over faster and stays refrigerated right up until it's sold. A 16-ounce container of strawberries, where you end up tossing almost half after a few days, means the real cost per edible portion has basically doubled from the $4 printed on the label. If you're planning to eat it the same day you buy it, $4 is a reasonable price, but if you're planning to keep it in the fridge and eat it over the week, there's a good chance you'll be throwing out half the container before you finish it. For anyone who genuinely needs fresh fruit that keeps well, a specialty grocer or local farmer's market is still a more reliable choice even at a slightly higher price, around $5 or $6 for the same weight. But in exchange, you get freshness that lasts nearly twice as long. Those 12 deals are all prices that are hard to catch again, from the TCL TV at $229 down to the 6-piece towel set at just $12. But those last 4 items are a reminder that cheap doesn't always mean worth buying. Sometimes real savings come from knowing when to walk away. Which of these deals did you grab, and which one almost caught you off guard? Drop a comment letting us know your favorite deal, and don't forget to share this video with someone who needs to restock things around the house because these prices could disappear at any time.